1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. If you can see and hear me, please give me a thumbs up or a like or a hello in the comments. That would be great. How's everybody doing today? Hopefully you can see and hear me. This is second time in the new studio, a bit of a different setup, still getting used to it. But here we are, and I think everything is tickety-boo. I got a thumbs up here. Who have we got? We got Ray is here, Scott, B&A, Raymond is here, Rusty is here, Gary, Grey Elephant Club, sorry. Grey Elephant Club is here. Kathleen from NYC, Gary's on. You can see and hear me, great. Glenda is here, Code Whisperer, Eddie, Peter, Jennifer, Nicholas, Sue, and Mutant Chisel, or Jenny O in Seattle. Cool, good to have you all here. Thank you for joining me. Just gone 3 o'clock, was a little bit late because I had a minor technical issue just as I was coming on board. Just going to try and get my iPad hooked up so we're ready to go. And then we will start. So we have about 20, I think, designs to get through today. So not dissimilar from last week. We should have plenty to go at. And obviously, you can ask questions as usual. Let's go through our slides so you can see. If you please do like and subscribe if you haven't already, that would be great. Ron is present. Eddie's here. Good morning from Laura. Good morning to you too. Please do sign up at michaelessick.com/live if you haven't already. You will get some free goodies and stuff if you do. If you stay to the end, there's a chance you might win my little book of t-shirt ideas. Here it is. You may have also caught a quick glimpse of the poster there in the background. You could win one of these. Last week's winner was Latifa. So just hang around to the end. You'll find out how you could win one of those. All right. I think we are good to go. I'm just getting my iPad in here. And once that's done, we'll be good. So hope everyone's doing great. It's fairly warm, decent weather here. A little bit wet, I think, but pretty good at the moment. I could go out in a t-shirt today, which is good. That's about as good as we can usually hope for. Nakita is here. Benny is here. All right, great. So if you sent a design in, then chances are I have it right here. I have about 20 to go through. So, quick question from Ray. How can I get the poster, Michael? Ray, if you go to michaelessick.com and you scroll down to the bottom, you'll see a little link for books. If you click on books, then the first book that pops up is the little book of t-shirt ideas. Here it is, there it is. If you click that for more information, you can find out all about how to get the poster and the book. And all the information is there. Okay, let's return to previously mentioned programming. Why don't we just get into it? We got 19 to get through. Let's go. Please do ask questions. I will keep an eye on the comments as we go through, and I will do my best to answer as many questions as we can. We have about an hour here, and let's go and see some designs that we can perhaps improve and give some people some pointers here. So we'll start off with this one from Lance. Don't know if Lance is, Lance is here. So remote learning. And so this is a fairly simple pun concept, pretty nice, nicely rendered, nice sketch. I mean, this is a sketch. This is not Lance's finished design, I believe. But it's a nice concept, simple pun, obviously quite applicable at the moment. So what can we say about this? How could we improve this, or how could we get this out of the door a little bit? Lance says, yes, it's a draft at the moment. So I think let's comment on the design considerations. I like the style. I like the style of our character. Very nice, very clean, very simple. And obviously you've got the blackboard or whatever with, a diagram on there, which is fine. We can see that he's teaching something, and that's cool. One thing that popped out to me just kind of on the concept side is obviously this is a picture of a remote teaching, it's not necessarily a picture of a remote learning, if that makes sense. So a possible consideration would be, could you do a remote control sat in the classroom learning instead of a teacher? Might that be better? Now, you might say, well, that's going to be harder to illustrate the concept than this. So in that case, I think perhaps what is complicating matters a little bit is this diagram, this kind of Vitruvian man drawing. I think that's a little bit, it may just be too much. You may just be overloading the joke a little bit. And I think maybe just some simple squiggles and stuff on the board is all we might need, rather than this particular illustration, which is very nice, but I think it might just be overdoing it a little bit. Because when I looked at it, I was almost kind of trying to figure out the joke here or something, and I think maybe that's something others might do as well. Another point on design like this, obviously you've got the text kind of underneath here. Could you just put the text on the blackboard? Would there be a big problem with doing that? I think that might work well. So simply just moving the text onto the blackboard, maybe having another couple of squiggles around, just to simplify the whole thing. I think that might work better than what you've got here. So yeah, hope that helps, Lance. We seem to have some questions and comments coming in here. Anna is here. Good to see you. Abdusalam, PopSockets Politics gets rejected from Amazon merch. Just got 6 rejects. T-shirts with the same design are fine. Okay, thank you for that update. I'm not really sure, why or anything like that, but hey, Amazon is Amazon. They're going to do what they do. Not a lot we can do about that. Lance says, should I add some math formulas? Also thinking of removing the eyes math from the blackboard remote. Yeah, I think you seem to be kind of working at the same kind of idea that I am, which is maybe it's a little overcomplicated and we could just simplify the whole thing and it might work even better. Often with t-shirt designs, simpler is better. We want to try and keep things, as simple as possible so the joke is communicated immediately, so we don't have to, we don't want to make our buyers work. We want to make things very easy for them. Kathleen says she loves the concept. Nikita says, I've got a question that I'm trying to find on Google. With images free to use, how much editing needs to be done? Complete editing needs to be done, Nikita. Yeah, you can't use anything from Google, or I certainly wouldn't recommend it. I wouldn't recommend using any images that you have not created from scratch yourself, because number one, you put yourself at risk of potential copyright infringement. And even if that's not the case, you're still using resources that everyone else has access to. So that's not a great way to build a long-term business. You may get away with it for a while, but it's not great long-term. Accidental Fire says, change it to remote teaching and target teachers. Yeah, you could change simply changing the wording, remote teaching, and then targeting teachers. I think it works both ways. So, remote learning, remote teaching, you could do 2 designs, just changing the text. That would be fine. Glenda says she likes the concept and the remote. Lance is saying good suggestions, thanks. And yeah, okay, cool. So we're good. All right, I think we'll move on to the next design. I think we've given Lance plenty to go off of there. Sandra has sent this one in. Let's have a look at this. So this one says, funny gaming apparel. That's the title, but the actual text on the shirt says, I only regret that I have but 5 hearts to lose for my favorite game. So obviously it's a very simple text-based design with a little bit of graphics in there for the hearts. So I can see that we're doing a joke targeting computer gamers and, people who like computer games or whatever. I only regret that I have but, of course, the typical phrase would be, I only regret that I have but 1 life to give, or 1 heart to give or to lose or whatever. So I get the joke. I think it's perhaps overly complicated. I think we could scale back this phrase. I would maybe we could probably even lose all the bottom text. I only regret that I have but 5 hearts to give or to lose. I don't think we need for my favorite game. I think that's over complicating and confusing things a little bit. You've obviously done a little bit of work choosing a font that looks computer gamey. That's good. However, the hearts are not pixelated in the same way. So there's some inconsistency in the design there, which we could tighten up and bring it all together. Overall, I can't really comment much on the concept. I think it needs, I think it's fine, but of course it is a very simple text-based design and there's not that much to really critique here. You know, I think I would pixelate the hearts. I would consider if there's any other way we could add some kind of graphic element to make it even more obvious that we're going after, you know, the classical game style appearance. But yeah, I think as a concept, I get it. I kind of get the joke. I would just think it needs a bit of tightening up around the edges. Okay. Musa has sent this one in. Tanja says, Lance, do both this way as teachers, schools might want them for the entire class. Yeah, so a lot of people saying do both, Lance, do both remote learning or remote teaching. That's fine. Ron said, hearts imply love rather than lives. They can do, yeah, if it's not clear that it's supposed to be representing the lives. And I think because it isn't quite pixelated enough, or it isn't in one of those little life bars or whatever, that improving those things would make it clearer. Kenneth says, is quotes good for t-shirt designs? Yes, many t-shirts are sold every day with just simple quotes on them. So yes, however, if you're doing just quotes and you're not really adding anything else, you're just doing text, you have to realize that that's pretty much an open market. That's pretty much the Wild West and not really necessarily a great way to build some kind of long-term brand. We're talking here really, and where I think my advice is most helpful is to artists and designers who are trying to build a bit of a bigger brand and a bit of a more long-term business. And you can't do that with just text-based designs. Gary says, put the text on a TV screen or have a drawing of the controller. Great idea. So yeah, it's just some ways of, you know, emphasizing and adding detail to the design, doing something that's going to make it more copyrightable, copyright protected as well. I think that those would be great ideas. Glenda says, colors are very pleasing. Agree with pixelate the hearts. So yeah. Code Whisperer says, wait, quotes by other people. Okay, yeah, good point. I kind of took quotes to mean phrases or text-based phrases. Quotes by other people can be fine, especially if we're talking about people who have been long dead or whatever. Certainly not something I would mess with more modern, you know, people who are likely to be alive or recently deceased with estates or something. Anything where people might be, you know, trying to legitimately make money from their brand or their name. You don't want to be doing quotes by such people. All right, so let's move on to this one. This one is from Musa. And I'll be honest, Musa didn't really know what to do about this one. There's a lot going on. And I don't get the concept. I don't get the joke. I don't know who would wear it. I don't know why they would wear it. And I don't know really how you're going to get it in front of them because you've done such a broad kind of thing. So we've got Horror Night, Trick or Treat. I mean, as far as I can gather, this is not for a specific event. This is just a generic Halloween shirt. Halloween is about to come. Are you a person who loves funny and scary shirt? Or maybe you know someone who is. This t-shirt is perfect to who can't stop scaring his friends and laugh. So I think, Musa, we have issues here, and I don't really know where to begin, apart from to say, well, I'll tell you where we can begin. We can go back to our core messages. Frequent issues that we hit here: no hook, no joke, design issues. But really, I think what applies to this design, Musa, is these three questions. Who is going to wear it? Why would they want to wear it? How are they going to find it? Who's going to wear your design? People who are into Halloween? That's a stretch because there's no hook, there's no joke here. You've simply listed out some words and put a few Halloweeny graphics on, and I don't think it's I don't think it's clear who's going to want to wear it. Why would they want to wear it? Again, there's no hook. There's no reason for people to want this shirt unless they're particularly taken by this image of the skull. And in that case, they don't want all this extra, stuff messing it up. How are they going to find it? Again, you've got Trick or Treat Halloween, and your tags are similar. Trick or Treat Halloween, Trick or Treat Halloween. You're playing in, I don't know how many Halloween-based designs there will be on Redbubble. Do a quick search and see. And there are 484,000. So that's going to be a very difficult situation for you, Musa. So I'll leave that one there. Hopefully I kind of give you a little bit of help there. Okay. Kathleen says she loves the skull. Ron says it looks like 3 different styles of clip art. Yeah, absolutely. That's a problem we see a lot. People using different styles and putting them all together. So yeah. And Master Simo is here. Hello to you. Okay, this one from Maria. In America, everyone can make a life for themselves. So get a life. So this is a very simple text-based design. Nothing really complicated about it. I guess you would call it a kind of sarcastic, sassy saying. I guess the hook, the joke is, so get a life. So we're telling people to get a life, but we're doing this little walk up, this little preamble up to the punchline. I really struggle to critique designs like this. It's just some text, and is the saying strong enough and funny enough to really motivate people to buy? That's what you're hanging all your hopes on. I really don't know what to say about this design, Maria. Sorry. I think by all means, list it and stuff. I really don't see how I could really improve it significantly because it's just a text-based design. People either like it or they don't. But I do think it's these kind of designs are not a great place to play in, and you will be very easily copied and those kind of things. All right, Glenda has this design. Humans, and we have an alien with a face mask and in a kind of vintagey style that we see quite a lot these days. So where to begin with this one? So Glenda, the concept, the kind of joke, the hook is not clear to me from this design. I after a little bit of thought, I think what becomes kind of clear is that this is maybe, and I've seen this kind of joke maybe in a few cartoons and stuff as well, like aliens coming to Earth, but then they're like, oh no, we can't go to Earth because they've got coronavirus or something like that. So I think that's kind of what you're trying to do, but it's not immediately clear to me from the design. That took a while for me to kind of get it. So I think I would personally go back to the drawing board, I think, with this one. I think unless you can, I don't know, think of a way to illustrate this concept of aliens, not wanting to invade Earth because of coronavirus or something like that, then I think this is a little bit, it's unclear. It's also quite simple. I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think? I think it's, and I also don't know why with this design you would go with this kind of vintage sunburst background. I know it's everywhere, but for me that's a reason to stay away from something rather than to whack it on every design you do. And to me, aliens and some vintage sunburst kind of thing doesn't necessarily go together. So yeah, I'm kind of a bit confused on that one, Glenda. Sorry about that. Okay, what have we got here? A couple of B&A said, so get a live text could be in contrasting color. Yeah, that's not a bad idea when you're doing a text design where you want to do a different color to highlight the punchline or something like that. Okay, Ado says, South Africa tuning in. Thank you, good to see you. Raymond says, punchline a little more unique. Accidental Fire says, too many colors. Yeah, that's definitely true of this design. Abdusalam says, you humans are for people who like to be alone. Niches are hiking, camping, etc. Okay, so we're trying to maybe use the alien as to give voice to the wearer, as saying, I don't want to be around humans or something like that. Okay, I can kind of get that, but I don't think it's clearly communicated through the concept. Lance says concept a little muddy. Maybe the alien just bypass Earth because of pandemic. Yeah, I've seen a few cartoons, I think, of that kind of joke, like, aliens in a spaceship deciding where to go. No, we can't go to Earth because of coronavirus or something like that. It's hard to really on the spot think of how to do that in a concept that would work on a shirt. But yeah, Mutant Chisel says maybe change the sunburst to Earth, so that would be a nice thing. You Earthlings, says Stan. Nice bit of alliteration. That could work. Craig from the other side of Manchester is here. Good to have you, Craig. And Raymond says, you should be more distressed with the type style. Yeah, so I think we're back to the drawing board a bit with that one, Glenda. Sorry about that. Max has this one. This one has seriously caught me off guard. This says, read now, work later. And there's a picture of a wasp or a hornet. I read through everything here, the title, the bullet points. I didn't actually read the description. Oh, there is no description. So there is no reference here that I can find to this wasp image. I am at a loss as to why there is an image of a wasp on this design. It's almost like someone's taken text and whacked it with a billion different clip art images, and it just, randomly happens to be a wasp that we're looking at here. So unless maybe someone in the comments can explain to me what I'm missing here, but I really do not get why we're looking at a picture of a wasp. I almost want to like this design because it makes so little sense. Maybe it's supposed to be a worker bee. Okay, thanks, B&A. Maybe that was it. Okay, so it's supposed to be a worker bee. Okay, it really wasn't clear enough to me that this was a bee. It looks more like a wasp. It looks kind of angry. Bees we tend to draw in a friendly manner. And yeah, I don't know how many people would get a reference like that, like work, applying that to a bee. Would they necessarily put it together? With a little bit of work we have, but there's some dispute here. And yeah, I'm not sure that this is clear at all. So yeah, I definitely back to the drawing board for that one as well, I think. From Max. Okay, Raymond says killer hornet. Yeah, it does look something like that to me. Musa says he got the point. Okay, thank you, Musa. Ron says the bee should have a book. Yeah, I mean, if there was some kind of book or something so I could make sense of it, then I would. Abdusalam says it's for people who work hard and have no time to read books. Okay, I mean, Abdusalam, we can say it's for this and it's for that. It doesn't mean that the concept is strong. It doesn't mean that the concept's going to carry and that people are going to buy it. So yeah, we definitely need to go back to the drawing board and think again about our key things. Who is going to wear it? Why would they want to wear it? And how are they going to find it? And with this one, I can't answer any of those questions. And I think we always need to be able to answer those questions if we're going to have a good design that we can, put out there with some confidence. Okay, Kirby has sent this one in. Jennifer says a tired worker bee. So yeah, if we had an illustration of, let me switch over. Let me switch over to my iPad a sec. So if we had a worker bee and he's looking tired, his antennae are drooping, and he had his briefcase. No, his wings need to be down, don't they, as well, to communicate his sadness. So if we have a worker bee that looks like a worker bee, kind of shuffling home or something like that, yeah, that looks like a worker bee. And there's potential jokes here based on the word work. I would forget the books thing for now, but worker bees and work, work hard, play hard, or something like that. Phrases where work appears, and then you can apply it to something like a worker bee and illustrate him in a way that makes it obvious that that's what we're getting at. I think that could be that could be a way to go. I don't really know why we're trying to get books into this thing, if that makes sense. Why? What's the connection with books? I don't get it. So yeah, okay. I think I've made my point on that one, and I think we can take this design from Kirby. Kathleen says, "Or reclining with a book, so it shows he's enjoying reading." Yeah, possibly. Or B&A. I'm not sure what kind of graphics read now, work later would work with. Yeah, good point. B&A. It's not something that lends itself to another an illustration of any kind. Okay, this one from Kirby. This says bears, and there are photos of bears. So Kirby is a wildlife photographer. So I'm imagining these are photos you've taken of wildlife, Kirby, and your photographs are very good. I had a quick look at your website, and you got some great, obviously a very talented wildlife photographer. If we come back to our main questions, who is going to wear it? So you might say someone who's into bears, someone who likes bears. Okay, that's an answer to a question. Why would they want to wear it? Because they like bears and they want to show people that they like bears. The problem is people who are really into bears, they don't want to wear a t-shirt that just says bears, right? If you're into football, you don't wear a t-shirt that just says football. You have a particular team you're into, okay? Or you have a particular joke or a hook that you want to wear. You have something you want to say, a message you want to say. So that's problem number one, I think. People who are into bears, people who are really into bears, they're not just into bears generally. They will have a favorite breed of bear or whatever that might be, whether it's a grizzly or a brown bear or whatever. And they'll know where it lives and all this kind of stuff. So there's so much more to explore than simply whacking a word on and putting something together. I mean, look, B&A's just said here, bears rule. Even just saying that does so much more than what we have in this design. Adding a little word to make a message saying that the wearer wants to communicate, I love bears, or bears are cool, or bears rule, is so much stronger a concept than what we have here. So that's problem number one. The concept is not strong. It's not something that someone who was into bears would really like to wear, I think. And secondly, this is bad news for you, Kirby, but you're using photos on what's going to be a t-shirt design, I imagine. So I think this needs work because photos on t-shirts don't usually translate very well, especially for a design like this. The only case where I would, where I've seen photos on t-shirts and it works is when it's just a photo, and usually it's some kind of iconic photo or image or something, and that's not going to work here. It doesn't translate well to t-shirts, not only physically when you come to print it, but also when you're trying to, you're looking at it on a computer trying to decide if you want to buy it. This is not an aesthetically pleasing design. When you compare it to something, that's been illustrated from scratch, this is not really gonna work. So hope that helps you, Kirby. And let's see what else we've got here. Musa says, actually sold one of it, which made me trying to know how to design targetable designs. Musa, I think that was the trick or treat one. Okay, well, great. Hey, if you sell one, that is definitely good data. And I would always try and dig into those designs that you have sold to try and find out, what's really working and what makes it work. Merch Pal says, if you ever make a design about animals, be aware that humans love animals and when they act like humans. So yeah, that's a good point. In the same way that I just illustrated a worker bee with a briefcase, that can work very well. John says, just doing bear stuff. Yeah, things like that. Simple phrases, it works. Kathleen says the coloring of the bear doesn't match the others. Yeah, I mean, the colors are the least of our worries here because there'll be a billion different colors used here. And that is a problem. In my opinion, that's not the kind of thing that works great for t-shirt designs. Okay, moving on to Eric and Santa. Here we have an illustration of Santa, and I don't believe I'm missing anything if I say this is just an illustration of Santa's face. and that's it. There is no more to that. It's done in Eric's particular style, but there's no hook, there's no joke that I'm missing, there's no text or anything like that here. So again, if we return to our main questions, who is going to wear it? Someone who's looking for a Christmas shirt and wants to wear an image of Santa. Okay. Why would they want to wear this? So why would they want to wear this design of Santa as opposed to another one? And I think the only answer you can give is they really like the style of the artwork, which is fine. Style is very subjective. Some people like this, some people like that. What you have to live with, though, is if that's the only thing you can hook it on, if that's the only thing you can say, this is why someone's going to buy it, then that's the only reason you've got. And if they don't like your style, chances are the majority of the world is not going to like your style. You're going to have a small group of people who might really like it. And how many people buy stuff based on the style of it as opposed to anything else? I would say very, very few. So that leaves you with a very, very minute number of people who are really likely to respond to something like this. So why would they want to wear it? I struggle to give an answer apart from they like the aesthetics of this design. There's no hook, there's no joke, there's no text, there's no visual joke or anything like that. So in absence of all these things, it's hard to give a strong answer to that, and that's a warning sign. How are they going to find it? Again, that's a good question here, because what do you say? Santa face t-shirt, Santa sketch Christmas shirt? You're playing in very busy places, and without a hook to hang it on, that makes this a very difficult design to expect any sales on, I would propose. Okay, couple of comments coming in here. Let's see. Abdusalam, it's under skull knee, seems to sell well on motorbikes. So yeah, skulls are obviously a thing, but that doesn't. We have to do more than just put a skull on a t-shirt. Definitely. Sue said, Michael, can we talk more about the idea of getting data from a design that sells? Yeah, briefly, Sue. What I mean by that is there's obviously lots of different data out there about what's selling, what's popular, things like that. And the data that's most valuable, I think, for individuals, for us, is if a design sells, because that tells you that you've created something and you've managed to get a stranger, perhaps in another part of the world, to get their wallet out and buy it. And that's very strong data. You've done something right. Not only have you done something right, you've actually done several things right, because you've had an idea, you've rendered it into a concept, you've turned it into a design, you've uploaded it, you've listed it, you've given it good keywords and stuff. And all these things have lined up to end with a sale. That being the case, I think that's really, really strong data. And it's also data that you have that no one else has. So, for example, I have designs that sell brilliantly on certain platforms. No one really knows that they're that popular, but they sell every day. And I'm almost the only one who knows about that. So I think really my main point is if something sells, that's a green light. That, you shouldn't ignore that. You shouldn't just go, oh, cool, a random design sold, especially in the early stages. If you're kind of just starting out, sales data is the most valuable thing. So if you've got 10 designs and one is selling and 9 are not, that is great information. And you should take that and go, okay, what is it about that design that I did right? How can I do more of that? How did I get the idea? What is it about the design? How did I list it? What's it about? All those questions, and really dig deep into it and kind of analyze to keep things going. So yeah. Craig says, barely awake. A nice little bear pun there. Very good. Bears work on a family niche, says Abdusalam, or bear with me. Again, a very nice little bear pun. Yes, Sue, just kind of address that. Rusty says, odd mock-up for a Santa suit. Yeah, I definitely struggling with that one from Eric. Scott has this one. So this is a nice design, T-Rex or treat. T-Rex or treat. So I think the pun is, it's not the world's strongest pun, but it certainly works. I think it works. Design-wise, I kind of like it, but there's a few things I think we need to talk about. I think the major thing here is the graphic style of the T-Rex, which is in one way I like it because it's this vector kind of style. In another way, I don't like it because it's a very what's the word? There's kind of a lot of detail going on, and none of it really is that necessary, especially in terms of the joke. And it it's a little bit it's not absolutely clear. It's not an illustration that's very simple and clear. I mean, obviously, it is a T Rex, but there's some weird things here, like these kind of spikes on his back. It almost looks like, I don't know, he's got spikes, but T Rex doesn't have spikes on his back, as far as I know. So there's a few weird things here about the actual T Rex illustration, and I would be tempted to go for a much more traditional T-Rex graphic to render it. This is what I would call a kind of semi-realistic illustration. It's almost like a pencil sketch turned vector. It's not cartoon. It's not stylized. It's not like an anime T-Rex or anything like that. So you can stick with that approach, but I think the actual rendering here is just a bit overly complicated and not great. I like the little jack-o'-lantern pumpkin head. I think Raymond's just said that as well. And there are limited colors going on, like the orange and the purple. I think that works. Personally, if it was me and I came up with this pun, I would go down a cartoony kind of way. I would go down a cartoony route rather than this kind of approach. Ken says, colors hit me as off on Rex. Yeah, it's almost like I don't know, I don't want to say like a optical illusion type thing, but you have to kind of do a little bit of work to see what's going on. It almost looks like you can see his ribs here or something, and I don't know. Anyway, the point is it's a little bit distracting from the concept. And I think, someone mentioned before about kind of what's the word, where you take animals and you give them human personalities and stuff. I think that's the kind of thing that would work well here. I know we kind of talked about it last week a lot as well, which was kind of getting some emotion into your designs. And if this was my idea, I would do something like, a cute T-Rex, I think. I would have him with big eyes, so he looks kind of cute like a kid. Because I think this kind of design, even if it's not made for kids, which maybe it should be, I think doing it as a cartoon probably gives it a wider appeal anyway. So yeah, I would do a T-Rex with his little basket, with his pumpkin basket. Yours looks something like that. And yeah, he can be, he's cute, cuddly, not cuddly maybe, but he's cute. And do something like, I don't know, he can have a little kind of wizard's hat on or something, or however you want to do to make him, look like he's trick-or-treating. But the main thing is that we don't put too many obstacles in the way. We make the design nice and straightforward. And I would probably go with something like T-Rex, or treat, something like that. And I think just making him look a little bit cuter or whatever, it just gives it a little bit more emotion, a bit more life. And I think it lends itself to a better response from kids and adults alike. It's not to say that kids don't respond to realistic illustrations of dinosaurs. Of course they do, but with puns, especially when you're doing jokes and stuff, I don't know. That's how I'd render it. But I hope that helps you, Scott. Raymond says maybe with a human face mask. Yeah, that's kind of an extra layer of joke, which you can certainly do. But I'm going to spare my T-Rex from that for this one. Okay, let's roll it back to over here. Where am I going? Here we go. There we go. Okay, this one's next. This was from Ben. Stan says, nice, reminds me of Dino Mike Arts. Yeah, I think Dino Mike is one of those guys. I feel like we're kind of kindred spirits. We seem to illustrate things in the same way. We have very similar approaches to puns and jokes and stuff. I've got an interview with Dino Mike on my website if you haven't already read it. If you go to michaelessick.com and you look for, what do you look for? If you go to my blog and then I have a tag for somewhere, where is it? T-shirt design, T-shirt artist interviews. And that's my category. And I have some good interviews there. And one of them is with, that's not Dino Mike, that's David Olenek. Not a million miles away. Michael Buxton is Dino Mike. And he does great designs like this, lots of puns. You'll see him on Redbubble, TeePublic, a lot of big top sellers and stuff. I think this one was on, what's the TV show? I can't remember. But it was featured on a TV show anyway recently, and that was cool. So yeah, Dynamite, good guy, like him. Check out his style, very cool. All right, which design was I talking about here? Just Be. So this one was from, what did I say? Ben. So this is nice. Another bee design. Nice bee illustration, and it says just be, and the bee is like meditating and stuff. So a couple of things about this one. A nice concept, a nice joke, very simple. Where I think there's more that could be done here is in the rendering of it. So I get the joke, concept is fine. Concept as is, illustration with some text, it just works. Just be. I like it. Where I think it could be improved is the rendering of it. So we're talking here about, meditation and mindfulness and things like that. Yoga and those kind of topics. So this, looking at the style of it, it isn't rendered in that kind of style. So I would say, how could you find some yoga styles or whatever and draw it in that kind of way? I would just do a quick look for yoga illustration. And just see kind of like what comes up, what kind of styles do people like, or like this kind of thing. So this is a kind of thing I think, or even just looking on like Amazon or Redbubble. If we just look on Redbubble and do a search for yoga. This is often how I work, by the way. If I have an idea and I'm like, okay, I kind of want to render it in this way, but I don't know what that way would look like, then I go and look for, t-shirt designs or what's best selling around yoga. Not even t-shirt designs, but if you do a search for yoga, what kind of styles appear? And it's this kind of thing, like it's hand-drawn little sketches, these kind of, I don't know what you call that, really detailed pen work and stuff like that. So of course you've got the bee in the kind of yoga pose. I think you could illustrate this bee in a much more yoga friendly style, whatever that might be, something that looks, I'm thinking this kind of thing, this kind of detailed, patterned work, flowers, floral, all that kind of thing. That would probably be, you can't really illustrate the bee in that way, but you could use some of those elements to build up the background or something like that. And certainly font wise, the font does not match with the kind of yoga vibe at all. So yeah, I would recommend just going and doing some digging around, what kind of vibes, make a bit of a kind of style palette, grab some stuff, put it all together on a page and try and, analyze and get to grips with what that style would look like, and then try and apply it to this design. I think that would give it a much stronger meaning and concept and vibe. So yeah, hope that helps you there, Ben. All right. What time are we on? Okay, we've got 15 minutes. So I'm going to skip a few of these and let's get through some comments as well. Scott says, love your little sketch. Thank you very much. I struggle. Yeah, it comes with years of just drawing dinosaurs, I think. Stan says he's read that article. Cool. Scott says needs a more relaxed font. Yeah, absolutely. Beaditation, bit weak that one, Stan. Benny says I'm redrawing it now as you speak. Okay, cool. Rusty says maybe have the bee meditating on a flower. That's a nice idea. Absolutely. Kathleen has the same idea. Bee on a lotus flower. So great. Yeah, the background symbols come through too much. Not sure what that one's referring to, but anyway, let's get through a couple more designs here. So we had this one from Anna, I believe. So this is like, from what I understand, this is the Aztec god of the underworld. So this is obviously drawn by someone with some skill in illustration and some abilities when it comes to their craft and their tool. There's a lot of detail here. There's nice, consistent colors and stuff. Obviously understands the style they're going for and things like that. I think the problem I have here is, again, kind of coming back to our questions, who's looking for it and what's really the hook? And I think, are people looking to wear a t-shirt of the Aztec god of the underworld? Maybe not specifically, but maybe we can take a step above that and say, do people look for Aztec t-shirts and stuff? And if that's the case, yes. I don't know if that's the case, but let's assume it is. And there's certainly, I assume, a market out there for Aztec type art on t-shirts and stuff. Is this a good, scanning through a list of like Aztec stuff, would this catch your eye and would you like it? Let's do a quick test. Let's go and have a quick look. Let's look for Aztec on Redbubble and see what pops up. So we see a lot of kind of aesthetic stuff, Machu Picchu, some very detailed graphics here. I guess some of these are references to, so we got the Aztec calendar, the Aztec, I don't know whether that's a particular location or something. So would your design, really pop out here on these? I mean, to be honest, it's fairly slim pickings on the Aztec front. I think your design would probably do well. But what I'm trying to get at is, I don't know, is there some kind of joke, some kind of hook, some kind of phrase we could put it into? Or, if we look at some of the graphics like this kind of thing, if this is what is the first result on Redbubble when you do a search for Aztec. Now, Redbubble being Redbubble, they are not going to put a design that has never sold in first place. So that probably tells me that this is sold, this is popular. It's at least the most popular of the things on that list. And if you look at the style of it and stuff, I mean, it's obviously it bears similarities, but it's very different from your design. And I would take that as a clue to maybe what people are responding well to, and say, if I'm going to do these kind of designs, maybe you want to, I know it's kind of a step up, but maybe you need to do, you need to take it to the next level in terms of intricate designs, intricate, detailed designs. And I know that's saying a lot because this is a nice design in the first place, but my concern is that it being a nice design and us all being able to see how hard you've worked on it and how nice it looks doesn't necessarily translate to people wanting to buy it. And, I would look at, what are people buying? How can you do something that kind of reflects that in your designs? So, yeah. Even things like this, like a lot of the Aztec designs seem to be in circle shapes. Even something as simple as that might take your design up a level. Just putting it in a circle and having some intricate detail behind it, maybe losing the text, which I'm not sure is necessary. People don't necessarily need that. It's fine to say this is the Aztec god of the underworld. You don't have to have his name on the shirt as well. So just some thoughts there. Hope that helps you, Anna. Jeff. A couple of comments here. WTD, do you have some go-to fonts or do you draw your own? Interesting you say that, WTD. I do think one of the biggest low-hanging fruits for custom design is doing your own hand-drawn fonts, and very few people do it. And I'm thinking of hand lettering as in what I just did on the T-Rex design, but obviously better. It's such an easy way to make your design stand out from the crowd, and it makes it difficult for people to imitate it unless they're going to take the time to do a hand-drawn font as well. So, yeah, I think it's a great way to do that. I don't do it nearly enough. If I had a go-to font, it would be Cooper Black, which I use way too much, but is one of the most popular. Is it Cooper Black that I'm talking about? The most popular fonts for yeah, it is. So yeah, Cooper Black is this thing. It just works very well. It's very versatile for a lot of the kind of jokes and stuff I do. But yeah, I don't really have. It's such a generic font. It doesn't necessarily translate well to specific designs, but that's one that I always kind of come back to. But I do also have, I like to buy fonts from time to time, especially if I think they're really strong and I think they're going to set me apart from other people and really, send a message. So yeah. Lance says Aztec beautiful with some good SEO. Mexican Day of the Dead. Yeah, so we're on the same kind of side there. Accidental Fire says I think that's a slick design. Kathleen says it's much better looking than the others. Yeah. However, just because we think something looks better doesn't mean that it's going to sell better. So I think it's always good to look at that and ask yourself, if you've put something out there, if it's there and people are seeing it and not buying it, maybe time to ask why other people are doing better than you are. Glenda says beautiful. I think it's a different slant on Halloween month. Yeah. Abdusalam font self maker is what he's using for Illustrator. Okay, cool. And John says he's been rocking Cooper Black since 2006. Yeah, I mean, it's been on t-shirts since way before that. What is it, like cover the Beach Boys and stuff? So it goes back a long way, that particular font. Okay, where was I? Jeff, haunting is my happy place. Very simple design. This is targeting people who work as haunters or in haunted houses and stuff like that. Don't know what that's going to look like this year, but good luck to them. Haunting is my happy place with some ghosts and stuff. So simple enough. What can we say about this? Could there be more done on the font to make it more ghosty? I think, and I don't really. You kind of half done the. I'm just going to switch to my iPad. You kind of half done the curvature of the text. You haven't pushed it all the way. So I don't know why with a design like that you couldn't have. So yours is kind of like this. You got haunting is. Whoops. You've got haunting is up here, and then you've got your graphic kind of here, and then you got my happy place. There's like a flat line of text there. There's no good reason I can think of why you don't have think of it like a circle and have the top text here and have the bottom text here. Unless I have a good reason to do something other than that. That's kind of my default. So yeah, I would curve that text at the bottom. Haunting is my happy place. I guess it works. I don't know whether it's just me, but something like haunting makes me happy kind of rolls off the tongue a little easier. Do a couple of ghosties here. I don't know what I was thinking there. But yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's not really much else I can say about that design. It's fine. I think just kind of a couple of touches on the graphic side to make it more visually, aesthetically pleasing. You've got some happy ghosts. Yeah, good luck to you, and hope it works for you. Okay. Kathleen says she doesn't understand the lines through the ghosts. So yeah, I guess they. It's kind of like a cracked effect that seems to have been added to the whole design. Yeah, I agree. That does complicate things a little bit, and makes you wonder what really if there's a meaning behind that. So yeah, so not sold on the purple shadow. I don't really think that's necessary either. And there seems to be a black shadow right at the bottom. It looks like you've grabbed some clip art and that's what you've used, and this was how it was kind of delivered. So yeah, I would always prefer to draw mine from scratch and make it work within the design. But yeah, Raymond says happier ghost faces. Yeah, mine looked unhappy, but At least Jeff looks happy here. Okay, Betty, we got a couple more minutes. We can get through a couple more designs. Pumpkin spies. So I like this one. This is a good, obviously a nice pun, very simple, very effective pun. Nicely rendered. Look at these nice halftone gradients going on. Very cool. I do, however, have a couple of concerns, and if this was my design, this is how I would approach it. I'm not really sold on the and everything nice. I get pumpkin spice and everything nice, but I think when the pun is about pumpkin spies, it might just be nicer to just leave it at that. Just leave it as pumpkin spies, and I would even be tempted to like lose the big coffee cup in the middle and just go with a couple of pumpkin spies. That's me. I understand, the temptation to kind of put it in a bit of wider context, and that is a good thing most of the time. It makes sense. Personally, I kind of see this joke as something like if you look at Gemma Corral, she's a designer who does this kind of thing quite a lot. I think she has a book of puns, and they're just kind of simple. I'm trying to find a good example here. And they all seem to be escaping me. Or let me look. Yeah. So that's a book. But yeah, just like simple renderings like this, like this is kind of how I would imagine it. Just like literally a pun underneath an illustration of that thing. So pumpkin spies and a graphic of your pumpkin spies. That's just how I would kind of approach it personally. But yeah, just another perspective for you there. And your name is Betty. Betty. Hope that helps you, Betty. Okay. Melinda, how would capitalization be best for that phrase? I guess she's talking about the haunting one. In order to avoid the issue of capitalization, I would simply uppercase the lot. That's a very easy way to not have to deal with that question. And also, uppercase fonts generally works very well. Nice way to communicate a message nice and clear on the shirt as well. So yeah. Kenneth says, what drawing software do you use? On the iPad, I'm using Procreate. And that's kind of my go-to right now. Anna says, thanks for the comment. No problem, Anna. Lance says, a winner on the pumpkin design. Melinda says, cute concept. Ron says, like the halftones and the text. Yeah, absolutely. Vivian says she likes it a lot. Accidental Fire, I agree. Lose the everything nice, and that will sell big. Rob says, good pun, keep it simple. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I'm kind of in two minds. I'd be interested to see how this would, if you put this against a simple rendering, which would sell better. I know which one I would personally prefer. That doesn't mean to say that the market would prefer it as well. So always worth, trying things out and seeing what works. I just want to make sure I get this one in before we quit. This one was from Carmen, and again, just a great pun. Sloth and Teddy win the race. This is a very charming little pun and design, and I think it was worth just highlighting it because I liked it so much. Don't really have much to say about it apart from I think that it could be much better realized. I think it is having said that, it's kind of charming the way it is, but I like the pun. Slow and steady win the race. Instead, we got Sloth and Teddy win the race, and it's very cute. I could see that doing well with certain demographics and certain groups. I do think, personally, I would do some work on the fonts and on the graphics to make it look much more professional. It looks a little bit basic, which has a kind of charm to it as it is. Even if you kept the graphic as is, I would do some work on the text. Try and make it look softer, more friendly, maybe like a more of a bubble font or something like that. Maybe like a Japanese kawaii style, that kind of vibe or something. But it's such a cute concept, and it's a pun that yeah, it's my kind of pun. You've got a double pun because you've got not just sloth and steady wins the race, but you got sloth and Teddy wins the race. So it's really nice, a lovely concept. I think if you if you do some work on the font, again, we got Ken here who's picked up on the font. I think it would be a really nice design. How are people going to find it? You know, why are they going to wear it? Sorry, who's going to wear it? Well, certain people who think it's very cute. I'd be one of those. I might not wear it, but I do think it's cute. Why would they want to wear it? Because it's adorable, because it's cute, because it's funny. It ticks multiple boxes. How are they going to find it? Trouble. Don't really know, but I could see something like this. This is the kind of thing that would blow up on Tumblr or Instagram. You know, if it gets in front of the right people, I think it would get, you know, a positive response. So yeah, really, really nice concept, Carmen. Good luck to you in rendering that as well. Matt, let's just get this one in quickly. Matt sent this one. I was wondering why the ball was getting bigger than it hit me. Yeah, I think this really needs to go not completely back to the drawing board, but it needs work. I was wondering why the ball was getting bigger than it hit me. I think definitely lose the question mark. A big black circle doesn't necessarily communicate ball to me, so I would do this as a ball or something like that. Do it as a tennis ball or something, and maybe do the text around the graphic or something to kind of show it. Yeah, I don't think, not even necessarily having our little guy, maybe just a graphic of like a tennis ball, you know, spinning towards someone with the text kind of positioned around it. It would take a bit of work, but hopefully I've communicated that not too bad. And yeah, hope that helps you there, Matt. Okay. Right. I think we'll leave it there for these designs today. I hope that has helped everyone. A couple of comments and questions here. If you have a question for me before we close up, get it in now, because we'll be wrapping up in a couple of seconds, a couple of minutes. Melinda says, Kathleen says it was adorable. Melinda said, super cute. Would love to see it in more youthful popping colors. Yep, I agree with that. Abdusalam, I get more than 10 rejects for pop sockets. Same design on t-shirt. I find only pop sockets. It's strange. Do you guys have any problem adding pop sockets today? I will let other people in the comments take that if they want to. Craig Jarvis, I'd get rid of the stars, but nice pun. Gary says, great stuff. Thanks, Michael. Cool. So, yeah, if you haven't already, do go and like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Do make sure you sign up at michaelessick.com/live. URL there. And if you would like to win a free copy of the Little Book of T-shirt ideas, look at that autofocus go. All you have to do is wait till we finish this stream, then go and find this video on YouTube, go and comment beneath the video, so not in the live stream, but beneath the video after, and tell me what you got out of this session today. Tell me if it was helpful, and I will pick a comment at random, and that person will win. The last week's winner is Latifa. Latifa, if you will email me, I will make sure that we get your book out to you. And yeah. So a couple of comments here coming in. Doodle-a-doodle-a-doo. Scott says, do you see a particular use for realistic design, or is it almost always cartoon? I do. I don't think I would say a specific. I can't think of a specific use, but I tend to do designs in one of two ways. They tend to be either the cartoony approach or the realistic approach. And depending on the joke and who the target market is, they can both work very well. I can't really think of an idea off the top of my head, but yeah, often jokes will work being rendered as a cartoon or as a more realistic sketch. So it just depends on the design. Yeah, I do a lot of realistic kind of pencil sketchy type things. Flanagan Photos says, thanks for the comments, no problem. Code Whisperer says thanks. Musa says, do you stream every week? At the moment, I do, yes. I'm not planning to change my schedule in the immediate future, so for the time being, yep. Benny says thanks. Paula says trademarks on pop sockets cause rejections. Kathleen says thank you. Vivian says your emails have been very helpful. Thank you, Vivian. If you're not sure what Vivian's talking about, these helpful emails, if you've not been receiving them, sign up at michaelessic.com/live. Jennifer, great nuggets. Thanks, everyone. Anna says, okay. Lance says, thanks. Christina says, thanks. Learned a lot. Scott says, thanks. Thank you. Thank you, Ray. Ray says, if he was lucky enough to win, can I have the poster instead as I have the book? Yes, Ray. If you were lucky enough to win. Melinda, can we buy the book on Amazon or your site? You can buy it at both, but I recommend you buy it from my site because it's cheaper. And also it comes from me rather than from Amazon, which means you get a little postcard as well, which I don't have any handy, but I do send out a little postcard in with the book. So yeah, michaelessic.com. You can buy the book on my website. Glenda says, thanks. Drew says, off topic, what is your camera studio setup? The camera is a Sony a6400 with a Sigma 3, I think it's what is it? 16mm lens on there. The lighting, I just got some cheap, whoa, come on, expensive camera, focus on me already. There we go. Just some cheap, not umbrella lights, but the other kind. And yeah, I got a big window in front of me, so the light is pretty good through that. Hope that helps you, Drew. Drop me an email if you want some more comments on that. I'll help you with it. Greetings from Berlin. Thank you. Master your merch. Raymond says, thanks. Facebook user says, thanks. Scott says, the emails are always good. Thank you, Scott. Rolando says, thanks. Ray says, made you laugh. Abdisalam, do you ship international? Absolutely, yes, we do. You may be seeing delays, of course, at the moment with shipping, but we do ship them and they do arrive eventually, wherever you're at. Raymond says he just got his book in the mail. Very helpful. Thank you, Raymond. And Melinda says she loves Drew's art. Yes, we all like. Drew is a popular character around here who does very nice art and yoga. Okay. I think we'll leave it there for today. Thank you for joining me. Hope you had a good time. Hope you learned something and got something out of today's session. I will be back next week, same time should be, with more of the same, or maybe something a little bit different next week, just to shake things up. May send an email about that too as well this week. So sign up if you haven't already. Leave a comment if you want a chance of winning the book, and I'll see you all same time next week. All right. See you later, guys. Thank you. Bye-bye.